Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the video. So this is going to be a nighttime POV of the 2025 Audi A5. The configuration I have here is the Avant and it's the e-hybrid. This is built on a new platform which Audi calls its premium platform combustion, PPC. It's the new platform that Audi is going to be using for its newer generation cars and going to be sharing some of this platform and its underpinnings with other cars from the Volkswagen group, such as Porsches and of course the Audi A6. Now, looking at this car from the front, of course, you have Audi's beautiful LED lights. This car I have here is equipped with the advanced matrix LED lights, which work pretty well. And of course, Audi does, some of the best lighting system in the industry. This LED light or this daytime running light has 8 different configurations that it can be changed into. Have a look at these 8 different configurations. You can change into 8 different configurations. I mean, if you're particular with how your LED light looks or the design of your LED light, then you have 8 different options. So Audi has given you 8 different options to choose from. But then if we look at this thing from the front, it still has that aggressive, classic Audi look. This design has evolved into something more stately, kind of like how they proportioned this new hexagonal front grille. And of course you have, air vents on the lower part of this car, and then you have side breathers on the side of this car, to smooth airflow as the car drives down the road. From the front of this car, it's quite aggressive, honestly. So the sides, yes, it's good proportions, honestly. And then something new for the Audi A5. Of course, you have Audi A5 Avant written on the B pillar, just in case you forgot that this is an Audi A5. It reminds you when you walk up to this car to open the door, it's an Audi A5 Avant. And something new for this Audi A5, of course, they have done away with the physical, door handle here. And of course, they want to make the sides of this car, really smooth. Of course, like they say, it improves aerodynamics. Don't know to how much extent it does, but then you have, this smooth door handle situation here, and it's electronically operated. So there's an electronic release. If you have the keys in your pocket, it senses your hands and it opens up. To lock it, you press on this indentation here, or you press on this part of the door and it locks automatically, and this applies to all 4 doors. When we look, something that has changed also from the A5 is the previous generation A5 all had frameless windows, but because this car has combined or consolidated 2 models, you have this normal door opening here, no longer a frameless window, even on the sedan version of this car. And this option I have here, or this car I have here, is equipped with double glazed windows. So this glass here is double glazed. This, of course, helps with interior quietness and cabin refinement. And then moving over to the back of this car, some changes also in the back of this car. This taillight looks really cool. I love this graphics or this LED light that it gives it that alien look or that alien vibes. This dynamic LED light, it kind of does a dance when you lock and unlock the car, if you see, with the car locked and with the car unlocked. Now to open the trunk of this car, you look, this arrow indicates, or it gives you the position where you can swipe your feet for hands-free opening. If I just demonstrate here, I swipe my feet in that position and it opens. I'm glad actually that Audi has, put that light so you not just go around swiping your feet in any area, the specific area where you swipe your feet. It has a great opening, as you can see. So it's quite easy to load and unload stuff into this trunk, and it has no load lip, so pushing things into this interior, into this trunk, is relatively easy. And then you can close up the boot with this button. Okay, now we'll be taking the Audi for a drive, and as you approach the car with the keys in your pocket, you have this pretty nice LED puddle light that just lights the way, gives it a nice touch. And of course, and then you have LED S-line lighting strip on the side sills of this car. So if we hop into the interior of this Audi A5, this is totally new for Audi, and of course, you know, it's now huge screens. In the center console of this car, Audi has done away with its gear shift lever from the previous generation. You just have this, you know, small gear shift, which you can just use one finger to operate. I don't really like it, but of course they want to free up space in this part of the interior. You have two cup holders, which are also LED lit. We'll see that when we start the car. And then you have physical knobs for your volume control, which I like. You have an array of buttons here also. You have for your drive select button, the EV button, the emergency button, and you have button for your traction control, engine start stop button. And when we look on the side of the door, there's this is one panel, but they integrated different controls into this panel. You can lock and unlock the door. You have your headlight control here. You can switch to your different headlight settings. You can use this for your to control this part, also to control your mirrors, your side mirrors, and memory seats, and you have child lock, and then of course normal. But then looking at this interior, what Audi has done is integrate both instrument cluster and infotainment system into one huge screen, which I'm not really a fan of. The idea is to have the screen just wrap around you and not just look like a tab. There's also one more screen here, which we can see. But if we can quickly turn this car on, nice animation when we turn the car on. So 3 screens configuration in this car. You have your instrument cluster, which is 12.3 inch in size. You have the main infotainment system, which is 14.3 inch in size. And you also have a passenger screen, which is 10.1 inch in size. Starting from this passenger screen, yes, you can pretty much control most of the car's settings. The passenger can do that. The passenger can open up the map, which is fast. The map is really fast and responsive. They can set in destination, which is very easy. Change the radio settings. They can also pull up some car settings in the passenger screen. And you can also hook up your phone to this passenger screen. You can connect your phone and you can just switch that off if you don't want that screen on. So, you know, for the sake of this video, would have the passenger screen on. But then in use case, I don't really have the need or use this passenger screen, honestly. Everything comes on. I like this LED lights on the top of the dash. It's quite interactive. In use cases, you can see when you blink, when you turn on your blinkers or trafficators, you can see that one part of that place lights up. How cool is that? Of course, you have Audi's new digital cockpit instrument cluster right in front of you, and the 14.3 inch screen is quite huge actually. One thing I like about this e-hybrid version is on hybrid mode, the car would start up on hybrid mode on default. So the internal combustion engine doesn't kick in for most of the time. And in my driving of this Audi A5, especially when the electric batteries when there's charge or power in the electric batteries, the internal combustion engine rarely comes up, which is good for efficiency. Honestly, driving this car in EV mode is pretty much like driving an electric car, but then you have the advantage of an internal combustion engine. So just in case you are going on a long trip and you don't have, you know, there are no enough facilities for electric charging, you have your internal combustion engine. Purpose of this hybridization of, you know, new cars or hybridization of new cars is so that things like city driving is quite easy. You don't need internal combustion engine, reducing your emission, reducing your fuel consumption. You just have electric charge. And as we are, you know, driving around town currently, we are on EV mode. Of course, we're going to be switching that off, or there are different ways in which the internal combustion engine can kick in. If you floor it immediately with enough punch on the accelerator, the engine would kick in. But in this case, it did not kick in because it didn't see any need on the 14.3 inch infotainment screen. And using this while driving, honestly, yes, I would have loved that. You know, that's the thing with having everything on screens, that you have to take your eyes off the road to, you know, do some basic functions. Like, let's say putting off a navigation, you have to take off your eyes off the road. But then in use case, this infotainment system is pretty fast. this new infotainment system, or this new system, is Audi's new MMI, and it's actually Android based, so it recognizes voices more better, and it's actually more responsive. The map is also Google based, so you can also use like Google to navigate, which is actually very good. And you can see the quite, snappy screen. I like that, it has high definition graphics, quite good and easy to use. The screen is large, so the icons are also large, so finding things on this screen is not that difficult. But then there's a learning curve you have when you first step into this car, because you have to know how to navigate this screen. And one downside to having everything on the screen is I noticed that some functions of the screen is offset over here to the left. So if I want to go into the menus of this screen while driving, I've noticed that I have to turn a little bit, just shift my gaze, because it's being impeded by the steering wheel, if you see. So I have to look a bit to the side, and then I can press the home key, or I can draw up the map menu. You can see the map menu. This is Android based. This car is equipped with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You can wirelessly hook up your Android phone or your Apple phone into this car. But then on the home screen, there are easy functions that you can reach out, like your radio settings is just right there, and then the map, just in case you're navigating. And on the lower part of the screen are your climate control system. Now, Audi has moved away from physical climate control from the previous generation to putting everything on the screen now, which I'm not particularly really a fan of. I'm not, a big fan of. I'm not a huge fan of that. But then you have everything. Yes, there's buttons to control the temperature. They are easy to reach. If you want to do things like maybe change the direction of the airflow, you have to click on the menu button here. Of course, you're taking your eyes a bit off the road, and then it pulls up that menu where you can set up your fan speed, or change the air direction, change the airflow direction, go into the different, air settings. But, at a glance, you have these easy shortcuts. If you want to also turn on your heated seats, the buttons are huge. I'm having to, glance over the side, because some of the icons are behind the steering wheel, which is not the best position, or it's not best placement for these icons. But yeah, night driving of this car is pretty much nice. It's equipped with the advanced Audi Matrix LED lights, so it lights up the road like insanely well. And also in the interior lighting, there's nice ambient lighting over the charging spot area. You have surface lighting here. You have cup holders with LED lights. You have LED lights on the doors. Gives it a very, very nice, or how would I say, it's a welcoming interior. And then we move over to the instrument cluster. The buttons on the left side of the steering wheel are used to configure the instrument cluster. Your view button just changes the view. You can see graphics for the adaptive cruise control, the level 2 autonomous driving. It has traffic sign recognition. You can see the traffic lights. But then the first driving impression I got from this car actually is the way it drives. This car actually blew my mind in terms of the way it drives. When you chuck this car into a bend, it stays really flat. Honestly, coming from the previous generation Audi A5, that rolls a bit in the bend, not all that much of a roll, but this one, it stays pretty flat. Audi has fine-tuned the dampers, they've fine-tuned the suspension tuning of this car, and even in the Avant version, it still feels lively in a bend. Honestly, this blew my mind when I first drove this car. Really drove well. Now, this is the e-hybrid version. It makes a combined output of the electric motors and the internal combustion engine of 367 horsepower. The electric motor itself, it makes quite a good number of power. It makes 140 horsepower. Electric driving range is about 100 kilometers in electric driving range. And the top speed of that, which electric motors can give you, is about 140 kilometers per hour. This is actually next gen from Audi. The driving experience of this Audi is more comfortable than the previous generation in my experience. It drives really, really well. It does all the good stuff for a new car pretty well. Now, going into the drive select button, this car, has different drive modes. When I click on that, it pulls up the different drive modes of this car. You have balance, dynamic, comfort, efficiency. This car can change personalities at the push of a button, which is really great. And in my opinion, the e-hybrid version is the best version for me, especially if you want a car that doubles as an electric car, so you get lower taxes, and also have an internal combustion engine, so that when you don't have range, you have the internal combustion engine to kick in and you don't have to spend hours charging this car. As a whole, this is a good package from Audi. Honestly, it's a great package from Audi. Okay, now we've come to the end of the test drive for the 2025 Audi A5, the Avant version. And so if you've made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Be sure to click on the like button and subscribe to this YouTube channel, and leave your comments in the comment box below. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.